Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today I'm going to be doing some books which I think would make great musicals. So I got the idea for this video partly from a Tumblr post which I will talk about a bit later on, and also Jessie from The Bookish Mom talked about one of these. She said in a recent video of hers about how she would love to see this book, a certain book, be made into a musical, and that just like sparked the idea in my head. So yes, so I'm really excited for this because I love musicals and yeah, books obviously. So I'm just very excited. So the first book I'm going to talk about is the Tumblr post that inspired it all, and that is Warbreaker. So there is a legendary Tumblr post which has this like Warbreaker musical headcanons, and it just talks about all the different characters and like all the different songs they would have, and it's just so good. And I just think Warbreaker would make such a fantastic musical, especially because it just has the whole book while you're reading it has like vibes of a musical. I don't know how to say it. The kind of character, like you could have Siri singing with like the kind of songs like Anna or Elsa would sing from Frozen, the like kind of female empowerment songs. And then you could have like Sebron doing the like clueless character song, and then you could have like Blank and Blank doing the like villain song, but also there's this like thing which is like they would do the song like near the beginning, and then they could do a reprise later on, like significantly more villainous. Also, on the topic of reprises, I absolutely love reprises in musicals. Like, so many of my favourite songs from musicals are reprises. I don't know why I love them so much. And then you could have, like, Vasha doing, like, a duet with Nightblood. That would be so funny. No, but I feel like Vasha would be the, like, really grumpy character that, like, never sings. But then he might, like, Ravenna might, like, persuade him to do a duet. I don't know. And then you could have, Siri and Sebron doing, like, a little romantic duet. At Last I See the Light song from Tangled, and you could have it like At Last I Read the Book. No, I don't know. I'm just way too high for this video. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I think this would be a fantastic musical, and also the whole colour scheme and the like breath magic, I think that would really like translate well to like kind of stage setting almost. So yeah, I think this would make a great musical. And I will leave that Tumblr post linked down below because I'm sure that that's way funnier than I could ever say. So, a Light song! How could I forget about Light song? He could have the best songs. Okay, anyway. And so then also the book that Jessie mentioned was Kings of the Wild. And also I would add his sequel, Bloody Rose, because I feel like Bloody Rose would make a really good musical because Tam, the main character, she is a bard. So she could be like almost the narrator doing all these like songs, and then the other characters could kind of like pop in for their songs. Kings of the Wild would also make like such a good musical because it has like kind of like a band feeling, almost like getting the band back together with these like old middle-aged men, and because it's quite a kind of almost like just a journey, adventure, quest story type thing. So I feel like that would translate quite well to a musical because they could have different songs for like different parts on their adventure. And yeah, I just think that would be so fun. It very much reads quite like a kind of almost like a stage play. I think that would work really well. You can just picture Moog's song with the whole phallic emporium thing. Oh god, that would be so funny. Okay, anyway, we're moving on. So the next book I thought of was The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, because I wanted to include a book by N.K. Jemisin because I feel like they're very like lyrical, and I feel like they would translate quite well to song. But I thought this one, because it's kind of set in New York, and it just is so much like fun and kind of very vibrant, this book, and I feel like that would translate quite well to a musical. And I just thought like the New York kind of almost like similar to like Rent type musical. I think this would make a really good musical because there's a few like kind of ridiculous things as well. Like there's one bit where they get chased down the street by like a giant Starbucks, and I just feel like there would be some like such great songs. And then each character, because each character is kind of like an avatar for different boroughs of New York, and then each character could have their like own theme song, and you could have these like different songs for the different boroughs, and then you could have like the reprises first of all, and you could also have like a one where they all kind of converge and come together, and it just be like this great harmonization. And I don't know why I get so excited about this. And then there's this like villain character called the Woman in White, and she's like a very kind of almost like a stage villain, so she could have such a great like villainous song. And I feel like she needs like an Azula chime, which, if you don't know, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, Azula, every time she comes on, she has this little chime. If you've never noticed it, then I would say look out for it, because it's so funny. But I feel like you could have that in a musical, like every time the character comes on you have a little bit of music. I feel like I've seen that in some musicals. So yeah, she would definitely have one of those. Then next is one we are getting a TV show for, but I feel like this would make a really good musical, and that's Six of Crows. Kind of along the lines of Les Mis, almost. Like, it's quite like, yeah, like the kind of gangstery feeling, and I feel like there's quite a lot of characters, so we'd have quite a lot of like different songs. And I feel like the plot of this one is quite a contained plot almost, because it's kind of, we're doing this like heist, and I feel like that translates quite well to musical, because it's just this like, they could be having all these like setups going on, and yeah, just the kind of actual heist, we could have this like big culmination song. Like, I know I've talked about the Frozen musical about 10 times already in this video, but like Colder by the Minute, we could have like the heist song, which is like, yeah, that would be so good. And I can just imagine like Nina and Matthias doing like a duet, and then Jesper doing this like funny song, and then Kaz and Inej doing very like angsty songs, and like Kaz being the kind of the like very broody, like almost, he could almost have like a villain type song, but very like, yeah, subtle. I don't know, I just feel like this would make a really good musical. I don't know why. And I feel like just the atmosphere and everything, I feel like Ketterdam would translate quite well on stage. You could really kind of set that kind of feeling of, I can honestly just come up with like, I could make any book into musical. I could come up with like song ideas and stuff. But some books just like scream musical to me. I don't know why. Okay, I know I already talked about Sanderson in this video once, but I feel like Skyward would also make a fantastic musical. But also I feel like it would be very hard to do. I feel like you'd have to edit it slightly to maybe make it not like a flight school, but like a, or I don't know, you could kind of have the flight, because like in Come From Away they have the like planes, which are like just rows of seats. But I feel like the whole kind of, just Spencer's character, her interactions with all the other characters would translate quite well to like songs. I don't know, she could have this like dramatic song, and then she could have like an emotional song where she's like worrying about her father, and just, because I think it kind of translates quite well to having like, because she has kind of very much an outward personality, but then she also has like insecurities like on the inside, and I feel like you could have like a ballad where she sings about that, and then Mbot could have the mushroom song. Yeah. Like a lot of sci-fi books would make good musicals, but also they'd be really hard to translate to stage. Like you could come up with some really great song ideas, but I feel like they'd be really hard to like portray on stage, if that makes sense. Okay, another kind of sci-fi book, but Gideon the Ninth. I feel like that would make a great musical, because I don't know how to explain it, but like, and this one isn't really, I feel like you could easily edit the kind of sci-fi elements out of this one, especially Gideon, not Harrow. Just the kind of Gideon the Ninth, because Harrow the Ninth, you definitely get a bit more like sci-fi in that one. But Gideon the Ninth is very much set in kind of just this like, I don't really know, almost like a haunted manor type feeling. And I just feel like it would work really well, because you have all the different like houses, and they have their kind of, like, they could have their own song each almost. So when like Gideon and Harrow interact with them, they have a specific like song, and then Gideon would just have the like funniest songs. But also I feel like, because Gideon and Harrow have a lot of banter, they could have this like song which they keep like reprising, and then like near the end they could do like a emotional reprise of it, where suddenly it becomes all very serious and like gushy, like, yeah, romantic almost. And yeah, I just feel like the kind of, the similar to Six of Crows, the kind of plot progression would kind of work as a musical. Also, it's kind of a bit like wacky, which I feel like works quite well in musicals sometimes, kind of like Beetlejuice. like I feel like Gideon the Ninth would have a similar like vibe to that. I feel like that would make a really good musical. Oh, I want to see it now. I'm gonna have to like produce all these musicals myself. Goodbye medicine, I'm now going to become a musical producer. Okay, 2 more. So these couple of books I read really recently. So the first one is House by the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. So I feel like this would make a great musical because it's like the kind of found family feeling, which I feel like some musicals have and do really well. And the kind of like children, like you could have, yeah, the kind of, I feel like musicals with children in also tend to work quite well because you have like Oliver and Matilda and Billy Elliot and just all those. You could get some like talented child actors. I just feel like the whole kind of Linus like slowly discovering that he loves these children, and I feel like Linus just feels like the protagonist of a musical in the book. I feel like he could really sing quite well. I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to articulate why you feel like these books would make such great musicals. I just feel like they will. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like the kind of vibes of House by the Cerulean Sea, that's the biggest, it's like a kind of global impression that you just get from this book. Just the way the kind of characters interact with one another is quite like, feels quite dramatic, but also quite like emotional, and I feel like that's makes a good musical. You have these like emotional kind of, not face-offs, I don't know how to say it, like interactions, and you could have some great songs. Like you could have the like Welcome to the Orphanage song, and the like Linus and Arthur like realizing they're having feelings song, and like Lucy could have the like I'm gonna take over the world song. That's just like this little kid. Oh, that could be so great. And then you could just have like a We're Going on an Adventure song, and just like when they're all coming together at the end, you could have like a really nice like ensemble piece. I don't know, I just feel like it would be so good. This whole concept just excites me so much. Okay, so then the final one is a book that I read very recently, and if you haven't read it yet, because I think I'm actually going to put this video up today because I'm just way too excited about this. So we have our book club called Book Chaos. No, Chaos Rising Book Club. The Twitter handle is @bookchaos. And we are reading A Song of Wraiths and Ruin in August, and the live show for that will be on the 29th of August. So on Tammy's channel, which is Tammy Tries to Read, which you should go and check her channel out if you haven't, which I don't know why you wouldn't if you're watching my videos. And I also co-host with Rue from Rue's Reading Corner and Sophia from Fantasy Book Addict, so you should also check them out as well because they're amazing. And yes, so if you wanted to read along with us, then you could and come and discuss it with us then. But anyway, I feel like A Song of Wraiths and Ruin would make a really good musical because it's very like rich in its kind of setting. So there's a lot you could do with the kind of set and the sort of like effects almost. It feels, especially the magic, is quite like there's like wraiths and like you can see almost like what's it called? It's not a hallucination. It's like a I'm too medicalized. It's like what is it? When you like summon things and you create like this visual, oh, what's it called? An illusion. That's it, like illusion weaving. I feel like that would be really cool in a musical. And the characters I feel like lend themselves quite well to like musical, and like Karina could have these like angsty ballads, or like, and also the kind of song where you're like trying to live up to your potential. I don't know, I feel like that's the song. And then like her and her mother, the beginning as well, could have like a kind of one of those songs, you know, like in Hamilton there's like History Has Its Eyes on You, that kind of song, because Karina's the princess and she's trying to like live up to her mother's legacy. I feel like you could have a reprise of that like towards the end. That would be good. And then Malik is just a walking disaster, and I feel like he would have such good songs. I don't know, I feel like every time he makes a bad decision he could have this like little kind of refrain that he would do, and I feel like that would just work out so well. Because there's kind of a competition type setting as well, I feel like that would work quite well in a musical, because like similar to the kind of like heisty or the like questy type stories, I feel like they work quite well like musically. Yes, you could have these like competition songs, and then you could have the kind of wraiths could have their like evil song. And I really love villain songs. They're like some of my favourite songs. I don't know why I like them so much. I just feel like it would be so good. And there would be a really good, because like the ending is so like, whew, it's like an amazing ending. And you could have these like really good like climax songs that just like really pull on your emotions. I don't know, I just feel like it would be great. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas for like books that you think would make good musicals, then leave them down below. And also, if you wanted to do your own version of this video, I would absolutely love that. I think that would be so much fun, and I can put them on my list for my future career as a musical producer. I don't know if that's even a real career, but you know. So if you did, please give the video a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.